Britain needs to show the world that we can regain our stability once again.
Britain has got yet another Prime Minister. Andy Burnham has entered Downing Street to become Britain's sixth Prime Minister in 7 years. But actually relatively little is known about what he intends to do.
We will make this moment a circuit breaker for Britain, bringing forward the biggest changes in the last 40 years.
So who is Andy Burnham? Andy Burnham likes to paint himself as an outsider, a man who built his political career up north in Manchester, where he served as a mayor. But in reality, he's from Westminster, here, where he started his career as an advisor to both Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. Burnham is a lifelong politician. He entered Westminster in his 20s, and he was a bag carrier for various Labour MPs before rising up the ranks. He then himself became a cabinet member, including serving as the health secretary for a brief time, and then tried twice unsuccessfully to become leader of the Labour Party.
I have a very clear vision of how I want to rebuild Labour. People haven't drifted away from Labour. Labour has drifted away from them.
Jeremy Corbyn's rivals already knew the result as they came into the hall. Andy Burnham unable to disguise his disappointment.
Jeremy Corbyn, 251,000.
And it was only then that he decided that he needed to step away from Westminster and head north to Manchester. There he was successfully elected as the Mayor of Manchester, where he served for numerous years, riffing on his persona as something of an anti-establishment hero who would champion left-behind areas of Britain. His most famous moment in Manchester was during the pandemic, when the government announced a bunch of funding for furlough schemes up there, which he said was not enough.
It is wrong to place some of the poorest parts of England in a punishing lockdown without proper support for the people and businesses affected.
That made him popular with voters up there and gave him something of an anti-establishment sheen, which he's taken down now to Downing Street.
We will bring about the biggest rebalancing of power our country has seen. It is time for Whitehall to accept that growth cannot be ordered from the top down. This is Manchesterism.
He now returns to Downing Street with that mantra. He says he wants to redistribute power away from Parliament. Notably, he wants to move part of Downing Street to Manchester. That has raised eyebrows among some civil servants who question whether Burnham really can be both in Manchester and London and run the country. But it's for him a very symbolic move, which shows power being taken out of London and put back into the regions. So Burnham's main challenge is actually a very simple one: growth. The UK economy is growing at about 1% a year, and frankly, it needs to grow faster than that to pay for welfare. So Burnham faces a very difficult challenge. He either has to cut spending, or raise tax, or do both. A key issue is immigration. The UK saw an unprecedented wave of immigration post-pandemic. It's come down a lot, but it's still very high, and that will entail difficult trade-offs for economic growth. The second problem is illegal immigration. There are still thousands of people arriving on the south coast of England on dinghies sailing from France, and that's been a very powerful message which anti-immigration party Reform UK have leapt on, and that has arguably pushed them to the top of the polls here. Burnham has never really held an international role in the UK government, so his views on international affairs remain something of a mystery. However, he has been outspoken about President Trump and has said it is time for the UK to take a firmer line with Trump and speak out about the differences with the US administration.
Yeah, know about who?
The new incoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham.
I don't know anything. I see that he was, I guess, the mayor of a town. I hear he's extremely liberal.
So how did we get here? Burnham got elected as a local lawmaker, which opened the path for him to challenge the deeply unpopular Keir Starmer. Such was his victory in that local election that the Labour Party thought that there's no point in anyone standing in his way. This is a highly unusual situation in the UK because normally there's a general election to choose another Prime Minister, or at least a leadership election where contestants vie off against each other, but in this case that hasn't happened. So what we've seen here is a coronation of sorts. There's been very little scrutiny from the party about what he really stands for, intends to do, or how he would deal with the many difficult trade-offs that he will face when in office. Burnham so far has faced down calls to call an immediate general election. The irony here is that nearly all the political parties in the UK are unpopular with voters. and there's no guaranteed winner. Labour has a big majority in Parliament after it won an election in 2024, and it has no desire to try and put that at risk by holding a vote soon. However, there will be a question as to what policies Burnham can introduce to the UK without an electoral mandate. So that pressure will build, and that does raise the prospect that there could be an election here before 2029.